Hey everyone, and welcome to IADS Retail Park, the podcast where department stores aren't just surviving, they're thriving, transforming, and sometimes even reinventing the rules of retail. I'm Maya, and joining me for this episode is my co host Selvan. Together, we're your guides as we dig into the boldest ideas, the wildest innovations, and the unexpected stories shaping the future of shopping. Here on the Retail Park, we're not just talking about what's next, we're living it. From the legendary halls of global department stores to the digital frontiers of retail tech, we bring you the inside scoop on what's working, what's changing, and what's coming around the corner. So buckle up because at IADS Retail Park, the only thing that's standing still is the mannequins.
In today's episode, we're taking you straight to the heart of Tokyo, where three iconic retail destinations, Isetan Shinjuku, Ginza Six, and Parco Shibuya, are rewriting the rules of department store merchandising. Whether you're a C-suite executive, a retail strategist, or just fascinated by the future of shopping, this is your backstage pass to the world's most innovative retail city.
Let's set the scene. Japan's retail sector has been on a tear, buoyed by rising wages, a surge in inbound tourism, especially from China, and a competitive currency that's made shopping in Tokyo irresistible. Retail sales hit a peak of 15.6 trillion yen in December 2023, and while things cooled a bit to 14.06 trillion yen by March 2025, the market is still growing, with a projected 1.6% to 1.8% year over year for the next couple of years. But Selvan, when we talk about this kind of growth, what's actually fueling the luxury side of the market? Is it just tourists, or is there something deeper going on in Japan right now?
And it's not just about volume. Japan's luxury market is booming. In 2024, the luxury goods market was valued at nearly $35 billion, with luxury fashion alone expected to grow from $6.5 billion to over $10 billion by 2033. Tokyo's Ginza and Shinjuku districts are leading the charge, with luxury flagship store openings up to 24% of all new launches in 2024.
Tokyo's retail landscape is a patchwork of distinct districts, each with its own vibe. Shinjuku is all about business, entertainment, and sheer scale. Think skyscrapers, the world's busiest railway station, and a mix of everything from luxury department stores to electronics giants. Kabukicho's nightlife, Golden Guy's tiny bars, and Nichome's LGBTQ plus scene make it a 24/7 destination. Sylvan, for someone who's never been, how do these neighborhoods actually feel on the ground? Like, what's the energy difference between Ginza and Shibuya when you're walking around?
Ginza is really the historic heart of luxury shopping. Wide boulevards, flagship stores, and department store legends like Mitsukoshi and Masuya sit alongside art galleries and high-end dining. It's where tradition meets modernity and where the world's top brands want their name in lights. And then there's Shibuya, the epicenter of youth culture and pop trends. From the iconic Scramble Crossing to malls like Shibuya 109 and Parco, this district is all about energy, fashion, and entertainment. It's a magnet for locals and tourists alike, and the place where tomorrow's trends are born. You really do feel the generational shift just by hopping a few stations on the Yamanote line.
Let's get into Isetan Shinjuku. The numbers are impressive. In 2023, Isetan Shinjuku recorded sales of 375.8 billion yen, about $2.3 billion, up nearly 15% year on year. And in 2024, it smashed through the 400 billion yen barrier. The store's layout is unconventional: two interconnected 9-floor buildings, one for the main store and one just for men, Asia's largest men's retail floor area. Selvan, you've walked these floors. What is it about Isetan's layout that makes it so different from Western department stores? Is it just the size, or is there a philosophy behind how they mix things up?
Maya, what really stands out is how Isetan animates every floor. The basement is a gourmet paradise, transforming throughout the day to create a festival-like buzz. The beauty category? It's spread across 3 levels, reflecting Japan's highly segmented cosmetics market. You'll find everything from Shiseido to eco-conscious newcomers, and even a beauty apothecary with wellness brands and food supplements.
That's so interesting, especially that beauty is spread across three levels. It almost feels like they're inviting you to discover new things by accident. Did you notice any other surprises in how they curate the experience? Maybe something that made you stop and think, only in Japan?
Yes, of course. I mean, come on, it's Tokyo. Fashion, shoes, and accessories are seamlessly connected. With cafes and champagne bars woven in, the second floor blends luxury and emerging brands, while the third floor mixes formal wear, Michelin star dining, and even a second-hand luxury zone. Every floor has a unique identity, and the adjacencies, think Dior next to a juice bar, designed to spark discovery rather than follow rigid logic.
I love that. It's almost like the store is its own little city. And what about the men's building? I've heard it's a destination in itself.
The men's store is its own universe, with everything from bespoke tailoring to streetwear and a consistent luxury experience throughout. You might be asking, what's Isetan's secret? Treating circulation paths as part of the offer, not just a way to get from A to B. It's a retail playground that keeps shoppers moving, exploring, and crucially, spending.
Our next stop, Ginza Six, Tokyo's luxury mall built on the site of the legendary Matsuzakaya department store. Opened in 2017, it's a joint venture that's redefined what a mall can be. 18 floors, 241 stores, a no theater, rooftop gardens, and Tokyo's largest office spaces. Now, Sylvan, Ginza 6 is famous for its vertical boulevard concept. Can you break down what that actually means for the shopper? How does it change the way people move and shop compared to a regular mall?
So, Ginza 6 is all about the flagship experience, Maya. Over 130 brands have their most spectacular Japanese stores here, and the mall's leasing strategy ensures constant freshness. About 40% of stores are refreshed every 6 years. The ground floor is a luxury showcase, but you'll find Rolex next to Lululemon and Cartier sharing space with lifestyle brands. There's no strict zoning. Instead, the layout encourages shoppers to browse across categories and price points.
That's wild. Rolex and Lululemon as neighbors. I imagine that leads to some pretty unexpected purchases. Do you think this kind of layout actually encourages people to buy outside their comfort zone?
The vertical boulevard concept is actually quite genius. Escalators at opposite ends force you to walk across each floor, extending dwell time and mixing up the journey. Heat maps show shoppers spend over 7 minutes per floor, 2 minutes longer than in other Tokyo malls. And that translates into sales. 18% of customers who start in lifestyle or sports end up buying luxury on the same trip.
So it's not just about the brands, it's about the journey through the space. That's a clever way to drive both discovery and sales. Finally, let's talk about Parco Shibuya, the ultimate urban catalyst. Parco's roots go back to the 1950s, but its latest incarnation, opened in 2019, is a $437 million mixed use tower that's as much about culture as it is about commerce. With 180 tenants, from avant garde Japanese labels to Nintendo's first official store, Parco is a mashup of fashion, gaming, art, and food. Sylvan, Parco seems to break all the rules. What's the vibe when you walk in? Is it more like a department store, a cultural center, or something else entirely?
Well, Maya, what makes Parco special is its borderless, ageless, genderless approach. You'll see Paris Saint Germain facing off against Unreal Edge, a sports card shop next to a sushi conveyor, and a CD shop between an insect restaurant and a craft beer bar. The store is a living lab for new concepts, with tenant refresh rates of about 10% per year and a constant stream of pop ups, events, and cultural programming.
That's such a mix. And I know they're using a lot of tech behind the scenes. How does that digital infrastructure actually impact the experience for both shoppers and brands?
Digital infrastructure powers the experience. In store analytics, dynamic signage, and a proprietary app feed data to tenants and management, allowing for real time tweaks. When Parco launched esports tournaments and gaming exhibitions, not only did ticket sales spike, but Gen Z shoppers started cross shopping fashion, food, and entertainment all in one visit.
It's like they're constantly testing and evolving. That has to keep things exciting for regular visitors.
Parco closes the loop between culture and commerce by balancing avant garde with mainstream and using data to measure the impact of every event, it's turned continuous reinvention into a repeatable and profitable skill. Sales per square meter are well above average, and occupancy rates remain sky high.
So, what's the big takeaway for global retailers? Tokyo's flagship stores prove that the most powerful floor plan isn't a neat map of product zones. It's a curated sequence of surprises. Isetan spreads beauty across 3 levels. Ginza 6 mixes Rolex with yoga wear, and Parco puts Nintendo next to avant garde fashion. If you had to pick one lesson that Western retailers could steal from Tokyo, what would it be?
It's not just about aesthetics. Every minute of experience is monetized, whether it's a Michelin star meal, an atrium art installation, or an esports tournament. Experience isn't a halo around the merchandise, it is the merchandise.
But there's more than one way to win. Parco thrives on perpetual novelty, while Isetan leans on heritage and institutional trust. The common thread? A clear, disciplined stance on how much to churn versus how much to preserve. The future is post zoning, and Tokyo's leading the way.
That's it for today's episode. If you're rethinking your own retail floor plan, Tokyo's Playbook is a masterclass in curated chaos and strategic surprise. If you want to know more, check out the episode description for a link to the full exclusive.
So, which flagship store's approach do you find most inspiring? Isetan Shinjuku, where heritage meets innovation. Ginza 6, where you've got vertical luxury and curated chaos, or Parco Shibuya, all about culture, gaming, and constant reinvention. Vote today on Substack and let us know why. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights from IADS Retail Park, and follow us on LinkedIn at International Association of Department Stores for the most recent updates.
Thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep innovating, and remember, in retail, curiosity is always in style.
And before we go, just a quick note, this podcast uses AI cloned voices with real human oversight to keep every episode sharp and insightful. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.